Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So today we are practicing with furniture and whatever it is that you might have at home. And there's a reason for that, right? Sometimes when we are, and you can absolutely feel free to practice on the ground if you'd like, but I figured today I would show you not necessarily chair yoga. Sometimes chair yoga can feel a little restricted as well. But if you want to go ahead and either set up a chair, or you can sit in an armchair. I'm going to use an ottoman for an example. This practice today, you can also use the length of a love seat or a couch. And one of the main components of being able to practice out of the box, of course, play on my name, but out of the box of being told or shown that this specifically is yoga. Same thing with chair yoga. We think chair yoga, we think that it has to be at one of those folding chairs or something that has a back. And with this practice, with the artistry of yoga, I really want you to get creative. So your chair might be a different size, a different height. I don't recommend a stool or something where your feet are not able to be on the ground. So just being mindful of that. Now, the second thing is when we're able to become creative, you can take your practice anywhere. For those of you that are traveling, for those of you that might have office or corporate events and you have to be in a hotel room, sometimes we can put a barrier or a block and say, oh, I can't take my class. I'm working this week or I'm traveling, and that can derail us. We can always use a bed. We can always use whatever it is that we have. So that's the first thing. That's the second thing. The third aspect is really allowing yourself to feel comfortable. I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm practicing or I'm in class, there's this brain that I go into, this way that I feel I need to be, and we're going to break all of that down as much as we can, little by little. Just a reminder that we are in the shifts of Vata season, and it's coming up very rapidly. It's coming up very quickly, and you might feel that turmoil already happening within you. So we're going to get seated today. I'll move back to show you what that looks like. One of the main components that I felt compelled to show this today is because it can be very difficult. I know I have a lot of joint issues myself. So for anyone that feels that they have joint issues or that it's difficult to get off and up from the ground, this is a really great alternative. And you can also incorporate this with any of the practices that we do. So let's find a comfortable seat. You can make sure that your blocks and your strap are nearby just in case you need them. And the very first thing is not sitting all the way back. You'll notice that I'm not all the way back on the couch. So finding that space where you can find a comfortable seat. Let your feet ground down to the earth. And if it feels comfortable for you, close the eyes. Just start to watch any aches and pains without moving your body right now. Just doing a quick body scan. Scan your feet to make sure that you can feel all four corners, the ball mound, the heel, the inner and outer arches and edges. Scan the ankles. Notice if there's any inflammation or anything that feels uncomfortable. Again, trying to do this without moving. Scan your shins and knees, outer and inner thighs. Scan your pelvis and hip bones. Notice your belly. And for those of you that might be practicing at a different time, whether before, after dinner, if you're practicing live with me, after breakfast, before lunch, notice how your digestion is feeling in this moment. Scan your ribs and shoulders. Notice if there's anything that might be dull or achy. Scan your joints, your elbows, your wrists, your fingers, again without moving and just feeling from the inside any information that your body might be giving you. Scan your throat. Notice if you might need to clear it, like I do. Jaw, tongue. Scan your ears. Scan your eyes. Let your eyes roll back into their sockets. Scan your brain. Feel your brain light up. And keeping the eyes closed, I'm just going to give you a visual right now. The meninges in the brain move like a little pulse. You can actually visualize on the inhalation them rising up, and on the exhalation softening and dissolving back into the brain. And in fact, see if you can start to really observe, keeping the eyes closed, doing this from the inside out. Start to notice how the breath moves you. You don't have to do anything right now. Isn't that wonderful? You just get to be a co-pilot and just watch how the very breath is expanding the organs, the lungs are inflating, the rib cage is pushing out on the inhalation, meninges in the brain moving, exhaling out and coming back to the midline. Just observe that a few more times. And just notice how this scan of the body has already shifted, how you're coming into class right now. We'll take a cooling breath technique today called Sitali or Sikari breath. It helps to cool the body from the inside out for those of you that might be experiencing some heat or some inner heat as the temperature begins to shift. You can roll your tongue, feel free to peek up. I know it's very hard to open the eyes after a body scan like that. You're going to roll your tongue like a straw. You're going to inhale through your tongue like you're sucking in the air. You're going to exhale out through the nostrils. And keep doing that a few times. And if rolling the tongue is challenging for you, you can also take, this is called Sikari breath. It's making that sucking sound kind of like the emoji with the teeth. You can do that instead if rolling the tongue is difficult. We'll do this for a few rounds. Again, taking a full, complete breath. Full, complete breath means that you're inhaling as much as you can and you're exhaling as much as you can, like you're wringing a towel out. This pranayama technique has been a very ancient AC. It's a very ancient air conditioning system within our own body that we can take at any time to cool ourselves. That internal heat refers not just to temperature, right? Those of us that are perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, especially if you're female, but more so if you're feeling heated, if you're feeling aggravated, if you're feeling like there's a lot to do and your body might be digesting. Digestion is referring to the element of fire within us. This is a great way to cool the subtle body. Take that one more time on your own, no rush. And we'll start to float the arms out to the side. Let the face look up, broaden across the chest and collarbone. Inhale. Exhale. You can keep the breath if you'd like. Moving with the arms rounding forward. Inhale, broaden across chest and collarbone. Feel free to take Sikari or Sitali. Breath is the one aspect of our body that is involuntary and voluntary. We can regulate and re-regulate our nervous system by shifting very breath. Next time you round forward, reach the arms straight up overhead. Press your palms high, root your tailbone down. Again, you can continue the Sitali or Sikari breath here. And on the exhalation, twist it over to the right side. Right hand's gonna go behind you, left hand to the outside of that right side thigh. Now pause here for a moment. Notice if the knees are splaying out, right? Want to try to keep the knees almost as if you have magnets on inner thighs. And start to visualize a line from the crown moving down your spine right into your sacrum. If you manage to watch the Rewire Your Brain on YouTube, there's some great visualizations that I put in there for you to really expand your awareness and to feel this electromagnetic field. On the inhalation, listening for Sa, the sound of pure intelligence. On the exhalation, hum, feeling that intelligence charge and transform to every cell of your body. Reach the arms up again. Smooth breath here to inhale and switch the crossing of the hands. Palm presses high, tailbone reaches down. Again, be mindful of the legs splaying out, all 10 toes on the ground. Twist it over to the left side this time. Left hand behind you, right hand to the outside of that left knee. Spine grows long here on the inhalation. Feel free to keep the Sikari or the Sitali breath. Inhale. Exhale, wrap the ribs around the axis of the spine. And then again, keeping that breath, whichever one feels comfortable for you. Start to observe from the inside out what feels different about sitting on an elevated surface versus sitting on the ground. There is absolutely no shame in needing to sit in a chair. Both of my parents have difficulty getting off of the ground at their age. So again, just notice today what might feel different. How can I start to incorporate using furniture in all of my practices? Float the biceps long by the ears as you slowly unwind. And press the palms down the midline of the body. Pause at your heart center here. And we are coming up on a new moon. We are already shifting into a new season. And the unknowns can scare us. This is not a practice where I am sugarcoating anything. In fact, I think that's exactly why our community is the way that it is. And being completely transparent, unknowns can scare us and they can be quite harrowing as we move towards darker and darker nights. So let's go ahead and open up the palms. And I want you to visualize from your heart today light emanating right from your heart into the space between your palms. And I'm going to invite you right now to put inside of your palms, as if you're already holding what it is you want to see transform in your life. What is going to let that light illuminate within your individuality so you can share it collectively? What needs to shift? What needs to materialize? And allowing the unknowns to shift into union, into peace, into a place of integrity and love. Let's chant the sound Om. You can join me or simply receive. We'll take the AUM version today. A-U-M. Take a deep breath to inhale. Press your palms together. Draw your chin to your chest. Half blink the eyes open. And make sure that your blocks are handy. I like to keep them on either side of my feet. This also helps, especially if you are a dancer or have any movement turnout. This helps to keep us a little bit more parallel. So we'll bring that in for the moment. We'll take a few cat-cows here. Inhale, broaden across the chest, lift the heart. Exhale, round your spine. If you happen to have long arms like I do, you can also let your hands drop. Inhale. Face looks up. Exhale. Take this a few more times on your own. And if you enjoyed the Sitali and Sikari breath, you can absolutely take that here. Using that visualization, broaden across the chest. Feel this lightning bolt of energy. If you haven't yet looked at Rewire Your Brain, I highly recommend it. It's going to shift how you're viewing what we do in these practices. And I hope you enjoy all of those juicy graphics that I put in. Let's take this a little bit further. So we're going to reach the arms all the way up. Inhale, exhale. I want you to make this yours. Roll it forward, almost as if it's a standing forward fold here. Let your head be heavy. You can nod it yes. You can shake it no. You control the lips. And let's take that 2 more times. Inhale, roll up. You can stretch the arms around and up. Urdhva Exhale, make this yours, moving down the midline of your body as you fold it forward with an asana. You can inhale, lengthen your spine, hands to blocks. Exhale, fold it forward. Let's take that 2 more times. I'll cue you, but you don't have to follow my rhythm. Inhale the arms around and up. Exhale, standing forward fold or seated forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, hands to blocks, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold it forward. Last one on your own. I won't cue you. There's a beautiful softening and surrendering that happens when we are seated. And for anyone that has had surgery or has ever been wheelchair bound, this is a great alternative that we can create subtle movement in our body without feeling restricted. The next time you bring your palms down the midline of your body, pause. And we'll take the right leg. You can help it up for those of you that might have issues lifting that leg. Give your hand the opportunity to help here. We'll flex this right foot, cross it over the top of your left side thigh. Again, peek up for a moment, be mindful. If your hips tend to open out, really plant that foot, left foot. And now we're gonna flex this right foot. First thing we're gonna do is make a fist with this left hand. And we're gonna bring some vitality to the underneath of the feet. If you've ever had a massage or reflexology, this is one of the major components, all of the organs, all of the nerves that refer to the inside of our body, our cranium, our bones, our tissues, our sinews, are right in the soles of the feet. You can also give yourself a little massage here. Each toe, again, just bringing that blood flow from the toes to the balls of the feet. These marma points are highly crucial. They refer to the energy lines within the body, earth, water, fire, ether, and space. And then go ahead and massage the heel, back of the heel. Now, keeping this right foot flexed, we're going to lift the heart. Make sure that you're never pressing on the knee. The knee is a joint. So pressing on the upper thigh, notice that I have very long arms. So this feels uncomfortable for me because my shoulder is up and my elbow is quite bent. But some of you might be able to place your right hand on your right side thigh. Foot is flexed here. Now lift the heart and move forward as far as you feel comfortable. Few options here. You can keep this right arm connected, pressing down gently. You can bring your hands, if you have very long arms like I do, you can bring them to the top of your chair, depending on where you're holding on to, or the seat itself. Thirdly, you can start to fold it forward, and you can bring your hands. I like to practice hooking my toes to the outside. You can see that I'm doing that here. And that's a great way to also practice for those of you that enjoy arm balances. This is very important to hook and press the baby toe to the outer part of the tricep. Now, as you fold forward here, see if you can relax the breath, relax the neck. You might even close the eyes here. A few suggestions is to make sure that you're not rounding your spine. I'll show this from the side here, right, just so that you have a better view. And for my members, you can always refer to this. I'll call this one chair yoga in the library, so you know. You'll see that my back is elongated. I won't turn my head so that way you have a clear view. My baby toe is hooking to the outer part of my tricep. And this is what a rounded spine looks like. Peek up for a moment. Right, so you really want to project the heart forward here. And this also, as my heart is projecting forward, my neck is elongated, so I'm not feeling any compression here. See if you can close your eyes. And just notice the feedback that you are receiving in this moment. Come back to the front so you can see. And if you are living with or caretaking of anyone that might be in need of a variety, I don't really like to use the word modification. Modification tends to have a somewhat limiting connotation. And the very word yoga means to yoke. So for me, it feels more inclusive to use the word variety. And this way we can discern. And perhaps that's coming from the Eastern values of actually valuing the aging process right? In the West, we tend to think that everything needs a modification, a modification, a modification. And to be quite honest, modifications, quote unquote, can happen at any age. So I really want you to feel empowered with yourself, no matter what age you are, whatever your body anatomy is feeling or growing through. And when you're sharing this with friends, family, clients, or even for yourself, give yourself the love that you need, that you're not modifying anything. You're practicing where your body is in this moment. Slowly start to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Take your time. Take a moment here. And we're going to cross this right foot over to the top of the left. Go ahead and you can leave it here, or you can single or double wrap. Now this is a seated eagle wrap. Stretch the arms wide. And we're going to hug ourselves. Left arm underneath right. Lift the elbows. Draw the shoulders down. Might shake the head side to side. Might move the backs of the hands, or you can come to prayer pose. Take a smooth breath here to inhale. Lift the heart. See if you can draw your navel into your spine. Round it forward this time. Elbows towards the knees. Garudasana. And take a smooth breath here as you shake your head side to side, relaxing the jaw. On your exhalation, slowly roll up. Release the arms. Release the legs. And we'll take that left foot, cross left ankle over top of right thigh. Again, take a moment here. Right hand is going to make a fist, and you're just going to bring some vitality. Go ahead and massage the toes themselves, little meaty parts of the toe. I like to call it human toe beans for those of you that have cute little pets. And I don't know why I call feet paw pads, but I do. So our paws are human paws. So you're massaging your own toe beans, your ball mound, that meaty part underneath the arch that tends to get very tight. There are a lot of knots there. And again, these are all marma points. Depending on, I will be sending out a survey within the next newsletter, which should be dropping this week. Look for that as to when the best time is for those of you to practice a workshop. So the Marma workshop is going to be great. You can also practice that with your friends and family, but when would be a good time for you to take it live? And then finally, the heel. Of course, with most things that I offer, it's always better to practice live if you can. And I understand about weekends and all of that, but be sure to fill that out when you can, so that way you are included. All right. Now flex this foot. Same thing here. You can lean forward, taking Hakini Mudra. One hip tends to be a little tighter than the other, so you can lean forward on your forearms. You can place the hands to the chair again, or you can lean it forward and hook the right baby toe to the outside of that left arm. And of course, there are many different options. If you would just, ooh, my hip just opened, would like to take your left hand and open up that upper thigh, you can absolutely do that. And then close your eyes. See if you can reach the heart forward. So the heart is leading forward, which means that the spine is neutral, the neck is neutral. There are a lot of things that are opening up, which is exactly why we are taking our time and either practicing the Sitali or Sikari breath. That outer hip is directly connected to our low back. And what tends to happen with the low back, for those of you that experience a lot of low back pain, or if you have scoliosis like I do, and your right and left sides are always trying to adjust, the low back is connected to the ligaments around the low back. The SI joints are connected to the greater trochanter, which is the outer part of the hip. It's kind of like a cog, if you think of gears. And that wraps around to the iliotibialis, the outer part of that IT band, runs down the outer part of the leg, and all of the tendons and ligaments in the legs, the gracilis, the psoas, that's basically their juncture. It's kind of like a traffic light or an intersection. So the outer hips, if that's what you're working on and breathing into, just focus there and direct your awareness to that space. If you feel your low back is opening up, focus there and send your light, sending healing light, healing vibration of sa and hum. Visualize the Kriya. Again, I highly recommend checking out the latest YouTube I just did. The visualizations will absolutely help you with the Kriyas. And the anatomy portion will also give you a little bit more information as to what's happening right now. Take a smooth breath here to inhale. Take your time. And on your exhalation, roll up, come up one vertebrae at a time. Take your time here. Slide this left knee. Crossing knee to knee, left foot has a block. And you can single or double wrap. Stretch the arms wide. Right elbow's going to go underneath this time. Garudasana. Hold on to the shoulders. Elbows move up, shoulders move down. Backs of the hands are palm to palm. Smooth breath here. Navel draws into spine. Maybe you fold it forward. For those of you that practice this in a standing pose, let this feeling right now of where your hips are, let this come into muscle memory. And there's a beauty of practicing when we're on the ground and letting the floor support us, or letting a prop like a chair support us. So that way it plugs in, our muscles and our bones retain how the shape is supposed to feel. So feel your hips balance right now and come straight back up. Release the arm, shrug the shoulders here, uncross the thighs, uncross the ankles. Find your strap. And we're going to reach the arms up. Nice wide strap. Take the arms back a little bit. Breathe into the space that you're feeling, opening up across the deltoids, the shoulders. Shake your head side to side. Bring the arms as far down as you can. And we'll take this up again. This is called flossing the shoulders. So you can bring it over to the top of the knees. We'll take this 3 times. Move a little slower if you're feeling that viscosity, that opening up. If you have any shoulder or joint issues like I do, really took a beating in my younger years. My father, who was a jockey, he's 72 now, he said to me, basically, we have the same the same aches and pains. I'm just 29 years younger than him. So he's like, it's just going to get worse. I'm like, I don't need to hear that. That's exactly why I practice yoga. So again, always finding that space. And for those of you that have been physical and physically active in your lives for decades as well, again, this is a great way, great opportunity to practice loving ourselves into where we are now. We're going to remove the strap for a moment. And staying exactly as you are, come to the very edge, not so much that you fall off, but we're going to go into a warrior two. Right? So pausing here. Now, this back hip tends to hike up. Those of you that practice with me weekly, I want you to find that place where your sits bones, you can feel it. Find your warrior two, keeping that right knee in line with the ankle. Pause here. Flip that right palm. Peaceful warrior. You can take your left hand to the outside of that left thigh, or you can keep it on a chair. Lean back. Bring this pause here. Smooth breath to inhale. Exhale to side angle. And again, the buttocks are just over. You can take the arm to the outside of the chair if you'd like a longer elongation. Let's move here a few times. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Buttocks are on the end of the chair. Exhale, extended side angle. And if you were present for my filming last year in September, you'll notice that Annalise did a little bit of chair practice because we're not limited, right? Some days we might need to just move on the furniture without having to get our mat out or having to go all the way down and all the way up. Take a smooth breath here to inhale. Exhale, come back to warrior two. I want you to pause here for a moment. We're going to take this into goddess pose. So you're just going to turn your toes out, all 10 toes, taking Kalyasana. So we're going to bring the fourth finger down, show you what that looks like. And we're going to stick the tongue out of the mouth on the exhalation. Take a smooth breath to inhale. Tongue comes out of the mouth. Again, inhale. Feel a little lift of your pelvic floor, Mula Bandha here. Gorgeous. And we're going to shift the toes now. Left toes turn in, or right toes turn in rather. If I did the opposite side, it's just because I'm mirroring. So the opposite side comes in. And then notice if this back hip is up. Level the pelvis, knee in line with the ankle. Warrior two here. Flip your palm. Take this into Shanti Virabhadrasana, peaceful warrior. Inhale. Exhale, extended side angle. You can see I'm excited to teach this. Do this a few more times. I am excited to teach this because so many times, and we're being bombarded with wellness, forcing us into looking a certain way, buying the right products, the right mat, True yoga doesn't need anything. We don't need anything at all, except an open heart. And if you can share that with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones, even your children, if you have children, your nieces, your nephews, you share your open heart, then you're living the practice of yoga. This just brings vitality to our bodies. Take this one more time on your own. And then slowly come up. We'll come into goddess pose again. We'll draw that fourth finger down. Inhale through the nose. Feel a little lift of the pelvic floor. Exhale through the tongue. Tongue out of the mouth. 2 more times like that. Inhale. Exhaling it out. One more time like this. Inhale. Exhaling it out. Beautiful. From here, slowly start to draw your feet underneath you. Shoulder shrug here, just a few times. Now, take the shoulders forward. And again, using the furniture today, so we don't have to stay seated, just giving you a few options. We're going to open up the front of the thigh, and you're going to need your blocks for this. I'm going to face you for this one. You're going to slide that left leg, if you can, hooking it to the outside of your hip. Now from here, you can stay here, and you're going to direct Two things happen, especially if you are a dancer or have been a dancer. This knee likes to go out because of turn out. Want to try, and if you have any knee sensitivity, you're going to bypass this one. You're going to try to direct your knee down without it splaying out to the side. You might feel some sensitivity opening up the front of the quadricep. Now, for those of you that might want to try this, you can draw that knee down. I highly recommend placing a blanket underneath your knees if you have any knee sensitivity. So I'll just demo that right now because sometimes we don't like to get our props out, even though we might need it. Now from here, I want you to feel a little lift of your pelvic floor. Few things, you can draw the hands back if that's higher. Or if you have an additional chair or something that you can place your hands on, you can absolutely do that as well. I like to keep my hands behind. Now, I want you to feel this little lift of the pelvic floor. So again, we're going in stages here. I like to say options, not modifications. Again, so that's one option. This is the second option to bring the knee down. The third option, keeping a little lift of Mula Bandha. You're going to take that right leg a little bit further forward, keep your foot on the ground, and you can bring your hands to blocks here. It's a deeper opening of the psoas. Now I'm going to show this from the side. If you're live with me, stay where you are. The two things we don't want to happen is the dipping of the pelvis, right? The arching. So I'll show you from the side here what this looks like. If we're overextending, then we're dumping into the back. So we want to lift. And then from here, the arms move forward. So it's just straight spine, as you can see, but it's a deeper opening here. I'm going to come back so my knee is protected. And again, just notice if your heart is dumping forward. See if you can, beautiful, beautiful, Betsy, yep. Notice if your heart is pouring forward or you're dumping into that low back. Now pause here for a moment. We're going to take a side bend. We're just going to add it in. Left arm is going to reach up and over to the side. Come on back to center. Pause. Slowly retract that right leg. Lengthen your knee. So you're going to fold it forward. And you might scoot your right leg a little bit more forward depending on where you are. Your hands can go to blocks. You're going to peel the toes back. So that left knee is protected. Toes are hooked. And again, just shake your head side to side. Anyone that has been a professional athlete, dancer, gymnast, anything involving movement arts or athletics over the years, I do want to caution you that it is ingrained within us to try to go as far forward, right? And that's not at all what we want to do here. We want to protect the joints. So even though, and peek up for a moment, even though my flexibility might allow me to go here right now, I want to really emphasize it's about maintaining the integrity of the spine here so that you're feeling the calf opening up, the back of the knee opening up. Smooth breath to inhale wherever you are. Slowly, with integrity, rebend that right knee. Hands back to blocks if you're folded forward. Lift your leg. Take a moment as you uncross. Give that left knee a little love. And again, if you have any knee sensitivity, any joint issues, you're going to bypass this or not push, right? So only going to where you feel the edge. I'm going to use this as an example. Only where you feel the edge, but not falling off. We're going to take this right leg, hook it on the back of a chair. The heel is outside of the buttock, so it's kind of like Virasana. Notice if this knee is splaying out. Try your best to center it. So you're not sitting on your heel. It's right outside my hip. Few options again. So as you can see, because of years of turning out, that's very challenging for me. So we do the best that we can. So we want the knee ideally to be underneath. Again, that's just my anatomy. You can stay here with the hands. You can draw the knee down to the earth. Again, feel a little lift of your pelvic floor. Before you move forward, let that femur align straight. You're going to feel the psoas, which wraps all the way around that greater trochanter, that intersection here. Take a smooth breath wherever you are, and then lift the pelvic floor. So we want to feel that. It's called Ashvini and Vajroli Mudra, right? It's a little lift of the sphincter and a little lift of when we feel the pelvic floor lift, almost as if you're holding going to the restroom. And then from here, you start to lean it forward. But again, feeling that lift, always being aware that one side is a little bit more user-friendly than the other. Just want to check in with Betsy. Betsy, how are you doing? You okay? Is this your tighter side? Yeah. So Betsy just nodded that this is her tighter side, right? All of us, for me as well, all of us have one side that's more dominant and one side that's a little bit more, has a little bit more elasticity. So whichever side is your more challenging side, I want you to put more love into this side. And then already remember that you're not going to be as flexible on this side because you're going to love this side to where this side is. So staying where you are, feeling that little love. See if you can lift the pelvic floor a little bit more. And then notice if you're sweating. Notice what might be internally heating inside of you. Can you come back 3 rounds of Sitali or Sikari breath? Slowly start to lengthen your front leg. You can scoot that forward a little bit. Now, notice if this hip is hiking up, I want you to steer your left hip back, your right hip forward, just as we would in pyramid pose. And if you need to make adjustments with the blocks moving forward, keeping that back leg where it is. Lift the heart. And then lean forward. Again, straight spine here, left hip moving back. I'm going to make the adjustments with these blocks and the shoulders are level. And then where can you love yourself and accept yourself into where you are on this side? What's opening up? Focus on one thing here because there's a lot happening in the body. You're going to feel the calf, you're going to feel the thigh, you're going to feel the back, you're going to feel the hamstring. Focus on one thing, the major one that's giving you the feedback. And 3 rounds of breath, visualizing the Saham Kriya here. Visualize light, radiance, magnetism, moving into that space. And see it in your mind's eye. Get creative here. See that space that is needing a little bit of love, a little bit of light. See it lighting up and glowing. Slowly start to rise. Take your time. Make the adjustments that you need. Lift of the pelvic floor. Rebend that left knee if you fold it forward. Come back straight up first so that way the thigh and your body is elongated. And with careful precision, remove that top leg. Rub the knee. You might notice that I'm actually making a little bit of a heart with the knee, right? So my thumbs are actually together and I'm bringing the blood flow back up to the heart. Always want to massage up towards the heart, not down towards the feet. The reason for that is because it takes longer for that blood flow and the oxygenated blood to come back to the heart. So always bringing it up to the heart, up, 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 not down. Gorgeous. Now, one last thing. I know some of you might have to jump off. That's okay. But one last thing. We're going to come down. I'm going to show you today how to use your props to open up your back. So I'm going to keep my blanket where it is so that way I'm not quite on the ground. A few options for you. You can use a prop here. I actually like to use the bolster on the ground, but I'll show you a few options here because this is for the low back. So you can let the arms splay out like this. You're going to keep your feet on the ground because we've done all that beautiful work for parallel. You can release the back of the crown here, the arms out to the side if it feels comfortable, just letting the arm bones rest. You can also let the arms just be here. So a few options, peek up for a moment. This one can let the arms fall back, lifting a little heart. Again, my chest is directly against. I'll show you what it looks like from the side. So being supported. Where the height of the chair is exactly where we want that opening. The arms can be either down or out to the side. If you want to take this into a deeper back bend, you can sit on a bolster. And then this goes into the mid back. So as you see where the break is for me here, I'm going to lift. And again, this is because I practice back bends for my body. What I'm going to do is lift of the heart. And then from there, if I need a block underneath my head, I don't today, but I'm just showing it. This is a deeper back bend. And again, this is not about, as you can see, or you can hear rather, my voice is not changing because I'm not dropping my head, but just giving ourselves options for what feels right. What may be right for you may not be right for someone else, right? So again, just allowing yourself, this is in mid-thoracic spine, so my pelvis is not dipping right now. There's a literal lift of my back. I absolutely don't recommend taking this one unless you practice back bends, unless you have worked with me one-on-one, and that's something that you are working towards or on. And then from here, I do recommend feeling that light as if there's an invisible line pulling your navel all the way up through your heart and through your throat and crown. Visualize that invisible line, just lifting your pelvis, lifting the heart, lifting the stomach. You can stay here as long as you need. Slowly start to come back up. Again, you can stay there as long as you need, but for today's purpose, I'd like for you to come straight back up. And we're going to end with an elevated. So your feet now are going to go onto the chair. We're going to end in an elevated because after back bends, you want your spine to be neutral. So I'll show you what that looks like here. Using your chair, you can use your blanket to elevate your head. You'll bring your feet onto the top of your chair. Let the back of your crown press down to the earth. Let the arm bones be at 90 degrees. Let your tongue drop to the bottom half of your mouth. And let your eyes roll back. There's nothing more to do right now. Just being in your space, in your own integrity. And feel that light at the soles of the feet, moving through the ankle bones, through the shin bones, calves, knees. Feel that light within you. Light up the backs of your calves, hamstrings, thigh bones. Feel light radiating in your pelvis, in your belly, in your chest, lungs, heart, and across the shoulders, into the elbow joints, wrists, fingers. Feel light lighting up your back, your throat, your jaw, your ears. Feel light softening your eyes and eyebrows, your forehead, your brain. Feel light softening the brain hemispheres. And visualize on your inhalation the meninges, lighting up the brain. On the inhale, they move. On the exhale, they move. Just be here for a few more moments in your own space. No rush at all. Slowly draw your knees into your chest, one at a time. And let your knees fall over to the right side. Use the strength of your top hand to guide you to a comfortable seat, letting your head arrive last. And we'll press the palms to the heart center and bow the head. And this gesture, this symbol of union, of duality, right against the left, left against right, solar, lunar, masculine, feminine energies, up, down, what we see and what we don't see. That union is always in the heart center, and it's filled with love. So bowing down to loving yourself and practicing how you need to. Let that love, let that light, let that wisdom flood through. And give to yourself what you wish to receive. Because when we pour from a full cup, the cup is overflowing. Give that love to you and pour from your saucer into everyone that you meet. Hari Om, Om Tat Sat. Namaste. Make a fist with your right hand, cover it with your left, press it over your navel, lean forward, and feel that subtle lift of your pelvic floor rooting you. And come straight back